Shabbat Shalom. Kadesha. You want a shofar? Someone?
Shabbat Shalom.
It's good to hear your voice. And thank you for yesterday. We did receive that, just so you know.
Oh, good, because it didn't show up really. I didn't know.
It was, I'm telling you what, there was a lot of problems yesterday on that system.
Oh, okay.
So it took a second, and that's why I got caught up, and that's why you didn't hear from us, because I got on. I had put some money in there too, and I got on to between both of them. I tried to clear it out, and all the money disappeared.
No.
And they kicked me out of PayPal, kicked me out of it, and then locked me out of my own stuff. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
If you read the reviews, it happens.
Yeah, well, it took a second. It took a little bit, but we got it back. You know, so
Okay.
that's why you didn't hear from us, because I was in total chaos mode trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
As the enemy was fighting us tooth and nail. It took me 6 hours yesterday to deal with the money situation.
You did better than most. Some are locked up for months.
Oh yeah, it's not. I had to get a word from the Ruach to get out of it.
Yep.
Can you turn that down just a little bit? Are you gonna blow your shofar? Trina, you gonna blow the shofar? Matthew, did you want to blow? Yeah, we just appreciate you, Kadesha.
No problem.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Julie, why not? Julie, you want to go back in the corner? We're gonna do the four corners of the room.
Yeah.
Good job.
So I took a deep breath. Yeah. I didn't jump up a little. Are you awake? Really?
There you go, brother.
So
I don't want to drink your stuff. Let me set up laced water. Mom? Yeah, turn down just a little bit.
Oh, the timing Dan says, you can host on Shabbat 24.
That's fantastic.
By text. Sounds good. He didn't give it time.
We'll get the time.
Asking that one.
We got 3 Hanukkah events already planned. Hanukkah.
What are the other?
Well, let's wait for the announcement.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Get ready for that. Oh, God. There's 2 H's. Okay, welcome. All right, tithes and offerings are in here, not here, right here. Or through Cash App, PayPal. And we have shifted seasons?
No, we
Not
have
yet. We're still in sowing
probably
season.
sometime in the next couple of days. How's the moon cycle? I actually didn't look at it last night.
It's not full yet, so.
Oh, it's not full yet. Next full moon. So we're only, what day is that we're looking at? We'll find out. We should be prepared for the transition though. Let me look it up real quick, guys. It says Ravihi. Okay, it says Wednesday. Wednesday, Ravihi, 4th day.
This coming.
We should be going into the full moon, which would be a change of seasons from sowing season into that winter rest season. So, couple days left of sowing season. Now, again, the seasons, and if someone has the calendar, you'll see that what I do, because I will go through the seasons on when they start and end a little bit. And so there are transitional seasons that Yah has done historically as well. So even though the technical season ends, sometimes seasons can shift a little bit. Like, it was 50s yesterday, right? So we haven't transitioned all the way into winter, right? So I say that because sowing season supposedly ends, but it is my belief and many other beliefs that the first day of Hanukkah is when Yeshua was given to Miriam, that story took place, because if you calculate to Sukkot, he was born at Sukkot, when he was conception took place on the first day of Hanukkah. And if you do the calculations, it lines up with Sukkot. Okay. And so that is my belief. So I'm saying if you get rigid about sowing season, yeah, good luck with that. This is not a commandment. You can get, whether you wear tassels or not. I mean, scripture is pretty clear about those commandments and, things like that. There's all kinds of stuff that goes into that. But seasons aren't like that. It's a wisdom principle. So we're at the end of sowing season, but we're going into rest season. So you have to let the Ruach guide you through seasonal stuff. Okay? You can't just intellectually do it. It's impossible. Right? So what I'm saying that is you have to judge something. If the Ruach says, I've been harassing Matthew about this, and the Ruach says, leave him alone now, and we're coming into rest season, why the Ruach is saying leave him alone. He needs to leave him alone. Right? So that's what I'm talking about seasons, right? If we're working and trying to get a business starting and it starts a couple days after the end of sowing season, don't be like, I missed it. No, start it. If the Ruach's telling you to do it, because there's not a hard line on seasons. It's there to help you understand the transition that's going on in the spirit realm. Does that make sense? With the Ruach, and why the Ruach's telling you, he may go, hey, look, you can go ahead and plant this, but that field over there, sowing's done. Leave that alone. So you understand that during that transition, so you're aware of such things, so you're actually paying attention to what the Ruach's telling you about certain situations. All right, it just helps with the discernment that is in the timing of things. That's this purpose. So just prepare. We are transitioning into rest, where the seed has to die. Right? So some things you got to let die for it to give birth. You just have to.
Now,
That's what I do. The Hebrew teaching. Grove City is a grove, and in that grove we have a volcano where we offer our sacrifice. That's what some people think we do up in here.
They think we do weird things. What can I say?
Well, Rose full of weirdos. I was talking to a Christian today on the phone about like the feast, because I didn't know him, but he thought I was a weirdo. Like by the time we got, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
What's really amazing is when someone actually comes here, right? And before they come here, they think we are how do you say, either cultish, weird, or we don't really know the word like they know it, and then they get here and they're like, oh, that's too much word for me. It's the quite opposite.
That's just
When people pray for deep. This is deep. I mean, prayer.
I just know when I was more on the church side of things, they said I was too deep, and if I look back on that time of my life, I feel like I was shallow as a puddle. Shallow as a puddle is what I was, and they were calling me deep. Oh, there's actually a puddle there. Oh my God, it's so deep.
scary.
It is a little scary.
They're not even that deep,
Yeah.
And yet there's a lot of Christian churches today starting to study the feast. They're starting to wake up to it.
Because that's what God is doing.
Yes, John is doing a new thing, and so,
From the nations.
and so, even though they thought you might have been crazy, for all you know, tomorrow they're gonna hear something about feast.
Might be the seed.
It's true.
Yeah, I had friends that would think I was crazy, and then they go to church, and the pastors would start preaching whatever. That's funny.
It is.
Oh, now it's okay. Your pastor said it, so that makes it right. Not the
Oh.
word.
I had a discussion with a very, very close friend of mine on Jesus's name. And his name is Jesus. There is nothing else he could call it, Jesus. And I tried to explain to her, you know, about Hebrew and about the names and stuff. No, his name is Jesus. Guess what? Eventually, she heard the same thing in church. So she now knows there's other names. But, you know,
Was she like just discounting all the other languages that say Jesus in a different way?
I guess.
Yes.
Like,
Jesus spoke English, so I mean, it had to be.
Hey,
Well, he's speaking every language.
someone came to the house of prayer in the bottoms. They came to the house of prayer and they asked to get immersed, right? They wanted baptized. And asked if we did baptism. We said, yeah, we do baptism. And what name do you use? I said, well, you know, and I know how I'm dealing with it. I said, well, we use Yeshua, but you know, it's just Jesus in Hebrew. He turned around right in front of me and started like going off, like to his wife. They're crazy up in here. That's so weird. I'm like, oh. You just said, I even explained, I said, Yeshua, you know, is Hebrew for Jesus.
explaining and they didn't know the Hebrew name for Jesus.
But he didn't
He
hear it.
explained. He didn't.
No, he didn't. He heard the first word
Oh.
and then he heard nothing else. That's what that.
This is where I want to go is, so Yeshua said in a public meeting, you must eat my flesh and drink my blood.
No wonder so many people left. They left.
He did not explain what he was saying. And for some reason, we have this opinion that every time we say something, we have to explain everything to everyone. When really, if they don't understand something, they should be asking. Matthew will, I'm sure, tell you that I've asked him some questions when he said stuff. I mean, it's a normal process. You don't understand where.
Unless you're not asking because you want knowledge, you just want to.
Yeah.
Do pleasantries. You just want to be nice.
You don't have to explain every little thing that when you make a statement. It's not. That's kind of like I view that as Western Gentile Christianity, where hippie Jesus. Every time I say something, I have to explain every detail and go down every little area so you understand it fully, or else I'm not doing my job.
Isn't that the Holy Spirit's job?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's.
My name is not Ruach Jr. I just want to point that out.
It's also your job.
Your job to search it out.
Yes.
They're supposed to be searched out, yes. They're supposed to take that effort and search it out. Let's see something.
Oh, but it's after church, I don't.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not Sunday.
But like, but you're not like mean about it. If I ask the question, you answer it. Not like,
I know.
I don't know. I try to ask
I
questions.
don't know, if you ask the question 4 or 5 times, he does have a tendency to respond.
Well, and sometimes he'll say, go ahead, I'll lead you to where you can go look it up, and
I'm okay with that.
yeah, he'll do that too. And if he has an answer, he'll answer, but get back to you.
All right, we definitely went down a rabbit hole.
Thursday is Warring in the Spirit. Please come. It's a pretty powerful night. Had a really good.
We will not be doing it during Hanukkah.
Not during Hanukkah. Okay.
All right.
You hear that? No Warring in the Spirit during Hanukkah.
But thank you, everyone that came out and prayed for us.
Steve is going to be at Bishop Howard's next Sunday.
Next Sunday. Yeah,
The
moving
11th.
next Sunday, yes. And we're still gonna be doing Sukkot. We might mix it with a little Hanukkah teaching. Now, look, for those that don't know me and what I teach on Hanukkah yet, I could gladly use all the support I can have next week between the Sukkot teaching and the Hanukkah teaching that I'm probably gonna give. Last time I gave the Hanukkah message at a church I've been at, they asked me not to come back pretty much.
That's all right. They took us down.
Why is that?
They found it very offensive.
And challenge them.
What, Hanukkah?
I know. Hanukkah.
What's offensive about it? I haven't learned about it.
Why don't you come next week and let me know why?
Oh, I'm coming.
You might see some fireworks next week on Hanukkah.
Unless you were bringing some strings.
The festival of lights, shouldn't we call some light and some friction? Huh? I brought word. It was all word. It was on prophecy and the spirit of Antichrist.
So essentially, he's gonna just put in over the sword.
If you were giving.
Double-edged sword.
Just
Come next week and find out.
Okay, I'll make sure to get the address.
Bring,
I don't have to bring firearms, right?
So this next Thursday night, is the next Thursday
brings
night,
us
you're not having
handed it at the same
prayer.
time.
No, during Hanukkah.
Oh, it's nice.
We'll get into Hanukkah in a second. Go ahead.
All right. The next new moon is scheduled for the 23rd. You're having online meetings, and the 24th. And we'll talk about the 24th. All right, so the 23rd is the meetings for the new moon.
Are we gonna have a night here for that at 7 o'clock as usual, or is that the 24th?
Well, we're gonna have something on the 24th.
Okay, the 24th.
Hanukkah is from the 19th through the 27th. Right?
And yes, if you can count, that's 9 days instead of 8. But that's not really, we're doing Hebrew days, not Gregorian days. And so we start in the evening and end at sunset. So one day is not the first and the last day there, even though it looks like 9 is really,
One day.
yeah, it's only one day combined.
All right, on the first day of Hanukkah,
19.
on the 19th, yes, we're gonna do I will host a dinner at my house.
That is on a.
That's on a Monday,
On Monday.
the 19th. I'm hosting a dinner, and that's the first day of Hanukkah,
What time is that?
7 o'clock.
Yeah, is that a potluck?
Yes, please. Don't make me cook it all. All right, on the next date that we have is the 22nd, which is a Thursday. And Elisa will do that one at 6 p.m.
Thank you for setting that up, Matthew.
That's here?
No, it's at Elisa's.
Where?
Elisa's.
Oh, Alicia.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
What's her, you have her address?
We'll get it beforehand.
And then on the 24th, which is also the first, that's also
Shabbat.
Shabbat. Which is also a new moon day. We're meeting at Dan's. We don't have a time slot for that.
Not yet.
That's when I probably won't be able to come. I got,
Yeah, we'll be out in North Lewisburg.
yeah, I don't think I'll be able to make it time wise.
And just realize, of course, that 24th is the day before the 25th.
Right, right.
So, you'll be having family people wanting you over. This is a good excuse not to go. Or if you wanna go, then you go to that.
Maybe go
What was Lisa's day again?
At least it's the 22nd, the Thursday. And
And
Dan's is
when
the
are we meeting
24th.
over
which
Dan's
is
that day?
Shabbat.
There's no time.
24.
But when?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
Probably like what you do here, 3 o'clock maybe, or?
That is totally up to Dan.
It's just-
We don't host at other people's place and then tell them when to host it. Dan, I'm gonna come, but only if you do it my way at your house. That's it. I don't think that's appropriate. You'd be surprised how many times people try to do that to me.
So for the Saturday, maybe we can carpool from here.
Would be good.
Yeah, so, I guess not a lot of people are here today, so maybe next week we'll go over it again and look out what people have time for day.
We need reminders.
And we may add days to that, but that's where we're at right now, guys. Just those three is all we have. And for those of you that do not know, we have a history of many of us going to lunch during Hanukkah week, just to, make it festive. So I know I'll probably be doing a lot of that. Historically, that's what's happened. I've had days in Hanukkah, I've met lunch somewhere every day. So I don't make those promises, it's not a commandment or something, but so I'm just saying, if you're free for lunch during Hanukkah and you're really trying to do something, someone probably is doing something somewhere. Okay. So I just encourage everyone to reach out to your friends, family, whatever, other people in the congregation really want to do something. Maybe they're doing something that day. It's a good time to do it. Just we're not we're not doing any conferences this year for Hanukkah. We have in the past. 2-3 days. Normally on new moon is when we do them. I don't think any of that stuff's gonna happen until we get a bigger spot. I'm just being honest. We're not really in a position to host such things. New moons, when we were hosting new moons and I was going out of my way to invite other people, anyone remember there was standing room only in the back? That's what was happening. And it seemed to be, it was not flowing real well because of the room. So we're just gonna wait a little while before we start advertising for such things. Right, grow the foundation. You said Weaver? All right, fantastic. All right, any other announcements? Anyone got something you want to share? Somebody wanna testify? Shabbat Shalom.
I just want to say thank you, Yeshua. He brought mom here today. It's been a long time.
Yes, it has.
Just seeing how he has orchestrated everything. She's 3 minutes away, back in Kentucky, and Anna is here with us. Flash.
Happy to be back. For real.
We're glad to have you back.
For real.
I would like to say thank you for all your prayers this week. Everyone praying for me. I was down. Paul as well was down. Both of us. He was texting me about his stuff and I was texting back. Me too.
And I wasn't down like that. So I'm just grateful for God's protection and wisdom that he's given us on what we need to do to strengthen ourselves.
This has been going around in a lot of places, and there's some speculation, although it might be well founded, that it was released because they were really pushing through the holiday to get everyone vaccinated. And so they had to release something. And we've been going around, it's been going around, huh?
Right.
I don't know why I'm drinking the water. It felt weird. I was drinking the well water and I just I don't usually drink non-filtered water. And that's the one time I got sick.
Oh, the well water?
So what were your symptoms? Wow. Same thing as what? Same thing as what? So you had
it was like a bad cold, but body was inflamed for a couple days. Extreme fatigue.
Yeah.
Just slept, for 2 or 3 days. Just slept.
Yeah, I didn't get out of bed on Sunday. I couldn't even talk Sunday. Trina barely got a couple words out of me, enough to send text to everyone else for me because
It might be a form of one of the variations,
Yeah.
Because I noticed one of the things I've had was, and I never had it before, was a loss of taste. Taste bud. Have you ever heard of that? Huh?
Yeah.
That's what COVID does.
What was that?
COVID made you lose your taste buds.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I had it for a day, but even when I had it for that day, it was like it was I could tell it was intense. I thought it was gonna get worse, and then I went thank God, the next day it was like all went away. It was so weird. It was just like everything went away in like 2 seconds. And I was like, thank you. Jesus."
I think it's just important that we check up on each other.
Yeah.
If someone's out, that we follow up, check up on each other, see what.
Appreciate it. It's
we
very
need.
much appreciated.
I'm telling you right now, I appreciated people checking on me this week. There was a time when no one would check on me, no matter how much ministry I was doing, so it was very nice. Yeah, that's true. But, also, I wanna thank the Lord, cause I was able to pay both the rents this week. It took me 6 hours to deal with financial issues to pay. It was insane. It drove me about bonkers. I don't get, I'm pretty even keel, you know. I confess that I was a little hot mess on Friday because I had all this money in PayPal and it all disappeared right in front of my face, and then they kicked me out of my account and locked me out.
Messages about it, and I'm
She's not even on this system. She's getting text messages from my stuff. And Kadesha was already saying it was acting weird. She didn't get a response or something that she normally gets from. There was a lot of weird stuff going on, and it took a fight, but we came out on top. Victory.
Also want to say the sickness thing around, just on the street corner is offering vaccines. And so, yeah, they're just sponsored by Pfizer.
You get $100 gift card.
Yeah.
Okay. They are coercing you.
They will gladly vaccinate you. You just have to sell your soul to get it.
Krispy Kreme Donuts was offering extra.
Krispy Kreme said a donut every day for a year.
You get vaccinated. You get free donuts.
Donut a day for a year. You're like, I would have got it. I didn't.
All that sugar free, I'm not doing. To break off sugar for a reason. No temptation today.
Hey, you heard that, Matthew. Trina offered cheeseburgers and beer. So if I decide to get wife number 2, I just have to start feeding her cheeseburgers and beer so she can go get vaccinated, and then eventually she'll die. And then I can move on. You were right. I just have to be patient, brother. No,
That's not a laughing moment.
You first injected Trina.
How was last night, Matthew? Matthew has a great, if you guys don't come on Friday night and you want something to do on Friday night, I'm telling you right now, Matthew has a great midrash on Friday night. I know Weaver's been there multiple times. I've gone, it is a fantastic job. You do a great job. So how'd it go last night?
It was good. It was just Joe and Elisa. They had a Saturday night parade here, and so don't forget all the roads were closed down. But we talked to Joe a lot. Yeah, it was.
That's good to hear, man. Good to hear.
I'd like to thank the Lord for my trip on the Monday when I went up to the funeral by myself because my son got sick.
Yeah,
I
I
was-
bailed.
I was going up and the 5 hours right back and then 4 hours for the funeral. But it worked out good. It worked out really good. God is with me the whole time.
That's good. Wish you could have been there. The Matthew's gonna lead a midrash next week. We're all excited about that.
Oh,
It's not today. Did she just snub me? I guess I deserved that after my comments.
There was just all this hype, and then it got.
I'm just like next week, Matthew will be leading the midrash. We're excited about it. It's been a while, hasn't it? A little while. Start getting to do that a little more often. And then that enables me to focus on what I'm supposed to do on Sunday with Bishop Howard. Right, so that just gives me some more time for preparation spiritually and all kinds of stuff.
To code and, with your discussion with him and Hanukkah.
We definitely are going to do the Sukkot midrash, but I've already been getting direction. I'm probably going to have something for Hanukkah. So the Hanukkah teaching is pretty quick. So I think between in the mid-rush for Sukkot, I don't think it's gonna be a very long, we'll see how it goes. We only got a couple hours, but, and for us doing a mid-rush, a couple hours is not a lot of time. So we'll see how it goes, but, the plan is to get into Hanukkah, and if not, I'll do the Hanukkah one the next time, you know. The priority is the Sukkot, this mid-rush. That's what they asked for. He's excited. He knows I'm coming though right before Hanukkah. And so he brought it up. So maybe we can combine it and do something. So that'd be fantastic. That'd be great.
Night, well, I don't want to distract.
You're right, we were done.
Might be an idea to go out there for a Shabbat one time, if he's up for, I don't know if he can get to go to Shabbat.
He can sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes.
That might be an option at some point.
Yeah, you might want to have that when we go out there. I think he was open to it. He was even open to a Friday night occasionally and stuff too, so. It's a legit question. That would be the next step. Right. All right, anything else? I woke up this morning praying for our mayor for about an hour. Ike. I spent an hour in prayer. Keep me in prayer because I might go see him. Start with the root and then go to the fruits. We'll see. He definitely professes publicly. Well, you're just looking at me like publicly. All right, praise Yah. Yeah. We got any music?
I do have a few songs.
Does everyone like the new music in the background?
Yeah, it's really great. Love that.
Yeah.
Praise Yah.
The waterfall is very cool.
That'd be okay. If it was like a wonder lake. Wouldn't need it right there, but as long as it's in the middle of the woods, you know, have my little log cabin, a little like.
Pray for him, no?
And I do a Shema combination with grapes or not. First. We're gonna join in together and sing a little bit if you can. Do the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. גדול, אלוהי, שירו כי גדול, אלוהי, כל אחד יראה, כי גדול אלוהי.
You're a healer.
Son of God and man, you are high and lifted up, and all the world will praise your great name. We praise your great name in this place. Your great, we praise your name. Your great
Mighty deliverer, hallelujah. Praise your name, Yeshua. We thank you for who you are in our lives today. You are our Redeemer, our beloved. Hallelujah, Yeshua, Yeshua. No other name by which we can be saved but the name Yeshua. You were wounded for our transgressions. You were bruised for our iniquities. Hallelujah. The chastisement of our peace was upon you, and with your stripes Mighty One. Yeshua. agreeance with that in here?
Hallelujah.
Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, Yeshua. Open our ears to hear. Open our ears to hear. To Shema what it is that you desire to speak, Yeshua. We just open ourselves to you, Lord.
That's good. That's good. I got something.
Have you heard Paul Wilbur's Song of Ezekiel?
Possibly.
Is it on here?
No. I'm gonna look for it right
I saw that
now.
last night over Larry's and it made me immediately think of here.
Yeah, we can look it up. You can always send it to Trina.
Okay.
Anytime you get something during the week, a song or something, you can always send that stuff, text it to Trina,
Okay.
and she can implement it into things. It gives her a chance to prepare. I mean, on the spot, it's a little much.
That's what I'm saying. I just didn't know whether you had seen it before, because I knew you hadn't played it here, and I just kind of wondered.
Probably haven't seen it.
Okay, well, it uses the same picture as you do on it, but,
Oh,
do it again.
it's good. It's good. What's that, Damon? Saw it out of the corner of my eye, sorry.
Yeah, it was, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, peace.
Let me stop. Huh?
You had something
Yes,
else?
I do. We're gonna get into it here in a second. I also remind everyone, we do have a trip to Israel in the spring happening. Okay, it's I think the March 31st, and then we're there for like 2.5 weeks. All right, just to throw that out there as a reminder as well, okay? Anyone got something you want to share before we jump in? Because I have something. I know once we jump in, we're probably not gonna get out. I'll be shocked if we do. Nothing? Let's go to Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Yeah, Stephen, that's really not right. Yeah. Can I hit any other button wrong?
It's Amos.
Chapter 3, verse 3. Here we go. My big fingers. We can start with verse 1, but maybe we should read this section. It's only 15 verses. Let's read the whole thing and then we'll go back to where I'm going. Hey, Matthew, I was going to ask if you could read those 15 verses. Is that all right?
Hear this word that Yehova has spoken to the children of Israel, this whole family which are brought up from among the people of saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. You walk together if they be agreed, and a lion roar in force when he has no prey. Will a young lion cry out of his den if he does not have anything? Can a bird fall a snare upon the earth where no chance? Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and Yehova hath not done it? Surely the Lord Jehovah will do nothing, but he reveals his secret to his servants and prophets.
Woo!
The lion has roared, who will not fear? The Lord Jehovah has spoken, who can but prophesy? published in the palaces at Ashdod and in the palaces in the land of Egypt. And say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, and hold great tumults in the midst thereof, and the enclosed in the midst thereof. But they know not to do right, says Shabbat, who stores up violence and robbery in their places. Who store up violence and robbery? Palaces. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Jehovah, an adversary there shall be even around about the land. He shall bring down thy strength from thee, and thy palaces. Thus saith Jehovah, as the shepherd takes out of his mouth, out of the mouth of the lion, 2 legs or a piece of an ear, so shall the children of Israel be taken out to the dwell of Samaria, in the corner of the bed, and in Damascus to the palace. Hear ye and justify in the house of Jacob, said Jehovah, for the Lord Jehovah, the God of hosts. That in the day that I shall visit the transgressions of Israel upon him, I will also leave the altars of Bethel, and the horns of altar shall be cut off, and all the ground. I will smite the winter house with the summer house. The houses of ivory shall perish, and great houses shall not be taken.
So we're gonna highlight 3 through 7, but mainly verses 3 and 7. All right, and we're just gonna reread that real quick. 2 can't walk together unless they agree. I mean, Paul, can you read verse 7? I know you like that verse a lot.
Surely, Lord Jehovah does nothing unless he reveals his secret counsel to his servants, the prophets.
So who's asking 2 can 2 walk together unless they agree? Context, that's why we read the whole chapter.
That's Yah.
It's Yah saying, how can we walk together unless we agree, right? Principle, he's quoting a very common principle. This is not a deep principle. This is a common sense principle. If me and my wife don't agree, how long are we gonna be husband and wife? Now, that doesn't mean she has to agree with every little thing.
You allow your wife.
I didn't say I allow it. Matthew, I disallow her to disagree. I know Torah. I don't make her do anything, but every time she doesn't agree with me, I disallow it. They're shaking their head.
Not that we wouldn't stay married, but it wouldn't be very pleasant.
Wouldn't be very pleasant. Sounds pretty unpleasant. Get these things out of the way. I feel like I'm gonna be writing a lot today. We'll see what happens.
I was just thinking about this morning, we're going down this morning, but situation going on. And I thought, there has to be agreement, there has to be, for things to function the way that they need to function, even in a workplace environment, and any type of structured, environment, you have to have some agreement for things to work.
Agreement.
You won't get anything accomplished.
I really want to be a grocer. So I think I'm gonna go to FedEx and become a grocer.
Right.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that, right?
Wait, what you're saying is you're gonna steal all the groceries from FedEx?
Yeah.
Verse 7, there's 2 things. So the first one is agreement, right? People can't walk together unless they agree. Very important. Verse 7 again, Paul, would you read that one more time?
Yeah, but before we do that, now this version makes a point of saying unless they have made an appointment. That's sort of the same, but there's something very specific about it.
What's that word agreement there? Well, I was gonna go there, but we can go there now. In Hebrew, what is it?
From fix an appointment, assemble or meet. Meet by appointment.
Ya'ad,
Yeah, you're going to show it.
Yod, Ayin. Oh, I'm doing Hebrew in my head. Sorry. Make sure I got it right. Yeah, dollar. Is that right? So in the pictograph, Mom, what is this? The Yod, Iron. And the dollar is the flat, right? Hey! So I haven't come to class. Right? So what does this mean? Oh, I'm not the only one that comes to class now. What's the owed me? Give me some words.
And work.
Hand. Or the work. What about the iron?
See. Vision.
Door? Oh. My bad.
Door, Steve.
Ah, the door is Yeshua, right? So the work or the hand or the vision of Yeshua, right? This is the word agreement. So these two can't walk together unless they agree. So even when we come here, we should be coming here because of the work of Yeshua and the vision that he's put in this place. Right? It's all about him. It's not about Stephen's vision. It's not about Matthew's vision, Sandra's vision, Paul's vision. It's not. If it's Paul, Matthew, Stephen, or my mom's vision, you shouldn't be here. You should run away and hide if you want to know the truth. This is the vision of Yehovah. If Yah's been given a vision, right, in the work that's supposed to be done here, Paul was given a work with Barnabas to go to the Gentiles, right? Did Kepha get the same vision? Well, Kepha would have been a sin to Kepha to go, Paul, you're an apostle to the Gentiles. I'm jealous. I'm going to make myself an apostle to the Gentiles. Oh, now, on the outside, you can say he's just doing what Paul's doing. But truthfully, he would have been sinning because that's not what the Lord had called him to do. Right. You understand? And the difference is in verse 7. Go ahead, read that again.
Surely the Lord Jehovah does nothing unless he reveals his secret counsel to his servants, the prophets.
Revelation to the prophets. Again, I'll put this here. Revelation. See, vision. Revelation. So what it comes down to is revelation and the prophets and whether you're in agreement with it. Trying to keep this as simple and direct as possible. Is everyone following so far? What is a prophet?
Watchman.
A watchman on the what? I kind of led that, didn't I? Watchman on the wall. What's the wall? So without the commandments and without the foundation being in Torah and it being the work of Yeshua, the redemptive work of coming back into the Torah, it is not a true prophecy. It is what we would call, it came up today, Kundalini. Because Kundalini is that. It's a fake spirit that is anti-Torah, that will work the signs of the Ruach that are not really the Ruach. It's Kundalini. It's what I call today snake in a basket. And the teeth, right? We went over it in class a little bit, right? So, and the purpose of Kundalini is to destroy real prophetic work. So if Paul was in a part of a ministry that gave a fake prophetic work, he was part of a real one, right? But if he gave a fake prophetic work, and then he saw me operating in the same similar thing, but it was not the difference of whether it was real or fake, he might run away from me because it looks similar to that of what he came out of. Now, the difference is he saw a real prophetic work and he sees me operating in the same stuff, and that's one of the reasons Paul's here. He recognizes that. Even when we went to, last time we did something down south with, who's the guy that teaches? We want to go to Crazy'sburg. What's his name? Chuck. Chuck's down there. Someone walked in the room that knows Paul and knows the ministry he came out of, and he said, the Lord told me that you picked up a mantle from Apostle. You know who she was referring to. And I just smiled and said, well, I was there at the end. That's all I said, right? I'm not going around telling everyone what's happening, right? So, because it was a real prophetic work from Yeshua. Okay? Now, I say all that because two can't walk together unless they agree. Right? Yes, it has to be a real work from the Ruach HaKodesh. There has to be a real prophetic word that has gone forth and a real vision of Yeshua being done in a place. That's not debatable. If it's not those things, you should run and go somewhere else no matter where you're at. I'm just being as direct as I can, right? Now, within this, there are different visions, right? And so you have to ask yourself why Yeshua has you in the place that he has you, right? Is there a work? Because if you're not in agreement with the place you're in, why are you there? Number one, right? Because if he has you there, and maybe you don't know, that happens, right? Yeshua says, hey, I want you to join Matthew's Erev Shabbat group and be there every week faithfully. And you don't know why. That happens. Because he doesn't always explain himself. Anyone ever experienced that before? I know sometimes I don't know why. Why? And I'm always asking questions like that. Right? So he might tell you to do something like that, so you might not fully understand why when you're at the beginning. But if you are not in agreement, you're never going to know the why. You're never going to get the why. You're never going to fulfill the why. And you're always going to be searching for the why. Because two can't walk together unless they agree. Yeshua doesn't bring Weaver in here to start screaming and yelling and telling us all we're the devil. That's not what happens. Right? Right? Or else, if it's not a work of Yeshua, maybe Weaver will show up and tell us that it's not a work of Yeshua. More than capable, and I love him for that, right? Two can't walk together. So I'm asking everyone in here, and I don't know how long this is going to take, but we're going to stay right here. Why do you think you're here? Because if you don't know why you're here, you're never going to fulfill your destiny and purpose of why you're here. And that is just a fact. I've been places and I've blown it, and I didn't realize what I was supposed to do with those individuals until later down the road. So I've been there. So I'm not condemning anyone, right? But you need to know, and the thing is, if there's no agreement, you shouldn't be here anyway, right? The vision and the work of look, who's the prophet of the house in the house, in the home?
The man.
The man is the prophet of the house. If there's a husband in the house, there's a prophet in every house in Scripture too, right? And you may not like it. I'm not trying to exalt position. I'm just trying to state the facts. That would be me at this time, right? I say at this time because we're not Nicolaitan around here, right? So, and there's a vision of Yah that he's given me for this house. Yes, it's for me. That's why he's got me here, right? But it's for the house. If you don't work with inside the vision, and sometimes you can work inside a vision temporarily, that you're in agreement with the vision, but your time there is even temporary because maybe you need to learn something, maybe you need to be a help. There's all kinds of reasons for that. So I'm not trying to define it that detailed, right? But you need to find out what those reasons are so you can accomplish the work that he sets you to do while you're here. Some people, no one in here, thank the Lord, but we've had this in the past, and someone's here and they say, because, I've come here to correct you and get you all in line, get you out of that religious Torah spirit. Have anyone seen that before? I have seen it more times than I can count. My mom's like, oh my God, don't call anyone out by name, Stephen. I have not called anyone out by name. All right. So the question is, again, does everyone here know what the vision for the house is? I'm not talking, this is the work set aside for the ministry that's here. The ministry is, what does the word ministry mean? Who you ministering to?
Anyone
The
that
Most
has an
High.
opportunity.
No, we don't minister to people, we minister to the Most High. He is our ministry. And yes, he has his flock, and sometimes he has us minister to his flock. But we're ministers of him. That's why if I come over here and y'all says, I didn't tell you to go there, she may even want me to come there, I can't go. Because I'm on assignment over here. How many times did prophets get in trouble in history, right? When, hey, go this way, don't go another way. Another prophet comes up and says, the Lord told me to say, you come to me tonight. And then a lion comes out and eats him on the way home, right? I mean, this is not, we minister unto him first, not to people second. I mean, ministering to his people is a very important job and everything else, but we only minister to his people as he sees fit. Because they're his. If you minister to people because that's your job, you think you're Yeshua now. That's his job, right? He chooses those positions, even not positions, but commissions in scripture, right? Prophet, apostle, all these things are commissions from the Father to serve his people the way he sees fit, not the way we see fit. All right, so the question is submitting those. Why does Yeshua have you here? And what is the purpose of it? Do you have understanding yet? Sometimes you're just supposed to, because you need to learn some stuff, right? And look, if you know it all, I've had that before. They have know it all, and no one can learn anything. That's no one in here, thank the Lord as well. But I've had that in the past, and they know it all, and they're just here to help, but they don't ever help. Look, I'm fine if someone tells me I can't learn anything from you, Stephen. But I'm here. Okay, fine. I need help with this. I need help with this. I need help with this. I'm okay with that. Because it's not about me and what I can teach. It's not about that. It's about what the king wants. But don't tell me you're here to help and then you don't do nothing. Then you're a lazy bum. And you're just a distraction and a tumult from the vision that he set apart. Now I'm over here, instead of doing this, I'm dealing with you all the time. There is a work and a commission here to do a vision around here. Two can't walk together unless they agree. You know what can't happen? You can't walk with Paul and Kepha both. You can't. You can't be in Jerusalem and among the nations at the same time. Now, that doesn't mean Paul and Kepha can't be in the same room ever, and they can't ever agree to do their jobs. Right? But you can't be in all places at all times and actually be effective in a vision. That'd be like Matthew said, I'm going to be a grocer at FedEx. I work for Kroger's and FedEx. Oh, what are you doing for Kroger? Does Kroger know you're here? Are you on assignment for Kroger? Why is Kroger going into FedEx? I mean, there's all kinds of crazy questions. And this goes on in the body all the time. That doesn't mean you can't, I'm not going to the don't visit anyone. That's not where I'm going. Please hear me. You have to be on assignment and know what your assignment is and why you're there. It's very important. Sometimes you don't know understand your assignment until you get there. Right? You may get there and think, I don't even know why I'm here. And then I'm gonna talk about myself. One time I felt led to go to my mom's service at St. John's Lutheran Church, right down the street. Right? And I'm already operating in the prophetic, all these other kinds of things. You think I'm trying to go hang out at a Lutheran church? Let's be honest. That is not what I was trying to do. But he told me to go. And they stood up, the pastor and the assistant pastor, in the front of the service at the end where they did the Aaronic blessing. And they quoted a scripture about he'll send a prophet from amongst your own people. And I'm sitting there and the Ruach goes, now you know why you're here. I said, oh my God. Right? And I got up and I met with the pastor right after service. I read him back the scripture and said, it's fulfilled before your very eyes. That's what I told him. And I was there. Now, I wasn't even attending services all the time, but I was there a lot around, right? Helping. But the pastor is who I went to, and he was in agreement with me being in that role in that place. You guys don't know this. He's retired now, so it doesn't matter. He was actually thinking about breaking off from the Lutheran church altogether. He was considering it. You think when he told me that, I was doubting why I was there? Did it happen? No. Eventually it came down to he didn't want to lose his pension. That takes faith to come out of that, right? What a shock. The guys in the back starts praying in tongues at a Lutheran church. You know, he's praying in tongues, he's doing all this other stuff, and then I show up talking the way I talk. I mean, y'all was doing a work in that place, right? And that work that fruit didn't go dead. Not everyone fulfilled their destiny and purpose and everything else, but there was fruit that came out of that in people's lives. So I didn't know until the day I got there. So I'm not trying to, but you need to find out when you go somewhere why you're there. How you fit in with the vision. So you can actually do the work of ministry. People say, well, we're all ministers. Oh, you doing the work of the ministry? Or your idea of work of the ministry is nothing. Ministry is work. And yes, it's a different kind of work sometimes, as we all that do it really appreciate the fact that it's not always by the sweat of our brow. I mean, right? And something we may enjoy it, right? Some of the ministry work is reading and studying his word, right? That's part of it, right? Prayer is work. That's why you want to know why people don't show up for evangelism and prayer? Because they work. They are work. You want to go out and do evangelism and you got to walk around. I mean, Matthew would tell you if we go for a walk sometimes, going down the street, sometimes it's a little much for me. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I thank the Lord I was doing all that stuff when I was a little bit younger and my body could handle it. And I got in all the street preaching I could. And so then I'm like, oh, Matthew, you can do it though. I'm just playing, right? All right. So that was a joke. All right. The question is, why does he have you here? What is the vision for the house? Who knows what the vision for the house is? Now, I have laid it out several times, but that doesn't mean you knew what I was talking about. From experience, I know I've laid it out. I've been places and laid it out 20, 30 times. I laid it out every week for like 3 months, and afterwards we're like, what's the vision? I mean, like, did I listen? But spiritually, they just could not hear it because it wasn't for them. You know yours.
Well, I'm just saying, as far as the vision goes, basically every week in announcements, I mention we are preparing for the greater Exodus.
Definitely part of the vision.
Good summary.
It's a good summary. It's a good summary. Well said. And that's why you announce it every week.
Yeah.
It's a reminder of the vision, right? Preparing for that greater Exodus. Notice I didn't say second Exodus. It's greater. Because there's been more than one Exodus already. Everyone know all the Exoduses? I don't know if we know them all, but obviously the main one, coming out of Egypt. What's another Exodus? Please, someone help me out. What other Exodus took place in Scripture? Babylon, crossing the Jordan. There's 2 of them right there. There's 2 Exoduses already, right? So it's not the second Exodus. That's my whole point. It's the greater Exodus, the one that'll make us forget about the first one. It's so great. Now, Eddie Chumney would teach it as in he actually believes that the waters of the ocean will part and we will walk across the ocean all the way to Israel. And I'm praying that we transport because that is a walk. Maybe Pangea will happen.
Maybe.
That is possible.
That would be a
I
rough
think
ride.
translation would be kind of cool. There.
I mean, maybe partial rapture will happen and we'll be caught up into the clouds and then we'll be right back down to the earth.
I think that would be legit. Portal open.
Do we understand all that? No. And I don't think they understood it then either until it happened. All right.
You just have to step as he says, go. As
Mhm.
he says, move, you move, and you don't know all the details. Just follow.
So what is the work that you're called to do to be part of that vision in this place? Because I'm going to tell you right now, no one is called to be a pew sitter, even if that's where you're at. That's not where anyone's called. No one says, I have ordained you to be part of this congregation to sit in that seat for 20 years. That's not what he's saying. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you believe that, you are highly deceived. You're in the wrong place. There's plenty of places. Matter of fact, that Lutheran church right down the street would gladly take you and you can sit in the pew for 20 years and they will gladly appreciate it. You will get on my nerves if you try to sit in a seat for 20 years. 10 years might get on my nerves. I can't, that's not the way we operate around here. There is a work to do. Now, if you don't know what that is, maybe the purpose why you're here is to figure out what your purpose is. But again, who told John the Baptist to go into the wilderness?
His mama. Oh, wait, no.
His mama. Well, we don't really know who, right?
John, get out of here.
He said a man. He did say a man, so we don't worry. It was a man. It did, that scripture at least tells us that it was a man that told him to go.
Yeah.
He was told to do. He was told to go.
Like,
Paul
you know,
was told to go, and he submitted to the prophetic word over his life. What is the prophetic word over your life? And if you don't have one yet, you shouldn't be, you can do Hebrew studies till you're blue in the face. And if you are not pressing in to find out the prophetic word over your life, you ain't never gonna fulfill it. I mean, I love Torah just as much as everyone else up in here. I study it all the time. I mean, if it wasn't for the Torah, I wouldn't be who I was, right? And this is why when we went over birthdays and the scriptures that people were born on, the Shabbat scriptures and the Torah portion people were born over, like, again, this is why I share this. So someone gets a clue. I'm commissioned as a shliach, right? The Torah portion that was I was born on Shabbat was the shalach. This is not a mystery. Now, it was a mystery to me until I discovered all these things, right? Look, there is a purpose. My mom has a word over her life. Remember what it was? I'll give you the summary. That she was supposed to serve faithfully to someone amongst her own kin.
Oh.
Is she not fulfilling that? I think I would be the best judge of that verse on her life. And I would say, yes, definitely. Right? Trump was born on Shabbat as well. What was his Torah portion? Does anyone know from the prophets? They talked about it all the time. The heathen, the Gentile that built the temple. What's his name? The king that was anointed. Cyrus. He was born in a Torah portion that talks about Cyrus. I'm saying these things are not an accident.
I think I've gotten more than one prophetic word about my walk.
I mean, good. That's better.
You know, step into one.
They should be established by more than one prophet, right? 2 or 3 witnesses at least.
Yeah, I got more than one word to marry you. First of all, I received it in my personal.
Now we're getting real.
Received it in my personal time, then it was confirmed.
Right. Publicly, right?
Mhm.
By a stranger at that, right?
Yes.
In a restaurant. My mom was involved with me making a decision. My bishop was involved with me making a decision. And then the Spirit already had borne witness with me. I mean, they were involved for a reason. So what prophetic word are you getting? And how is it applying now? Are you just the blind leading the blind? Or you're just not there yet? Which one is it? Now look, his Hebraic roots is where I'm at. You guys know that, right? I spent this week watching Zach Bauer, Bill Cloud, Melissa, Elwine. Who else we watching? Eddie Chumney, Grace on Fire. All right, so I'm all about Hebrew roots. But I'm telling you, we have a problem. How many Hebraic roots congregation you can go to and they can say we got a prophetic word for the congregation and revelation on what we're supposed to do? Tell me one.
I do believe that.
Wow.
I am onto something and I'm sharing it.
That's very
I think that Bill Cloud has.
I do. Thank you. That is my one. I had my backup. That was my bailout for people if they couldn't cover one.
Right,
Fantastic. I agree. He does have one.
you don't. Yeah.
And Bill Cloud's gotten word to do what he's doing. There's not even a debate about that. If you know Bill Cloud.
I've been listening. And I really bear witness with. This is touching on that because
Mhm.
that might come the closest to those in the Hebraic realm that they actually are walking in that, as a collective.
And see, there's a vision and revelation for the house, but there's also one for the body. That's a separate vision. So we can say that, as a body, we're all part of preparing for the greater Exodus, right? We share that every week. But look, that is part of what's going on in the general body of Hebraic roots, right? So that there is a body vision. But what do you look? There's a reason why we call it Kavod Impact Center. We didn't come and we go, hey, brother, let's just sit down and come up with a name and we're going to call it this. What the mess are we doing here? What are we, the world? Most of the world doesn't even be successful doing that junk. Most of the world even gets a revelation. Sometimes they're getting high to get it, but it tells what spirit they're of. But how many songs were birthed of people getting high in the secular arena? Because they have to be inspired. Coming up with a name is not inspiration. You have to get direction from a prophetic word, even if it's in your prayer closet at least, right? But it should be confirmed by more than one prophet. That's to keep the crazy kooks out of the kingdom. Because anyone can go back and say, hey, I got a word. The word is going to be, it's called Kavod Impact Center. Everyone come listen to me now, because now I got a platform to preach it. Everyone to meet. Let me stop. Two can't walk together unless they agree. That's why there's elders in place, because how do you think you're going to fulfill your vision? By yourself? I have not, look, this wouldn't even exist without you guys here. Do you guys understand that, right? Kavod it's bigger than me. It's bigger than Trina. Your vision, if it's only big enough that you can do it, it's not from Yah. It's not. If it's all something you can do on your own without anyone else, it's not from Yah. You don't need his help. I'm staying right on the head of that nail right there. I'm not moving. What is he telling you to do? What is the vision that fits into the body vision, right? Not just the body vision, but fits into the house vision. And like I said, sometimes there's a work that needs to be done and a learning that needs to take place before you go enter. Oh my Lord, that God. Shabbat Shalom.
One part.
Fantastic.
Look who's here.
This explains a lot why you're here today. I did not know I was going to be talking about this. So, what's the prophetic word over your life? What's he told you to do? And you see, look, here's the thing. Most people, even when they hear prophetic word, don't even know what that means. Let's just be honest. When I got my first prophetic word, looking back on it, I had no clue what it meant. I mean, that's just being honest. I just didn't, because y'all will tell you a word at the beginning of your journey, you don't even know what half the stuff means. So let's be honest, right? And if that didn't happen to you, you're a rare breed. That's all I'm saying. Very rare. Right? So you get this word and you start walking it out. You don't understand. See, this is where elders came in. I go to them and I ask them, and they're going to try to find a place into agreement. Now, there are places I've been where I came and shared the vision of Yehovah, what he showed me, and the elders said, we can't agree to that. So I know it's time for me to move on. Right? Because they literally are admitting to me that they're going to kill my vision. Right? You can't walk with someone if they don't agree. If you're hearing from the Lord, Yah gives you something, right? The Ruach is telling you something. and you go to the elders and tell them, this is what he's telling me. And they go, you can't do that. That's impossible. It's time for you to go because you've outgrown them. It's just that simple. The person will literally kill you spiritually. If not, they will turn into a Saul on your behind so quick. You know what I mean by Saul, right? Like you be sitting at the dinner table, he throwing spears at you, throwing jabs. Couple of them. All right. So two can't walk together unless they agree. You got to find some place to have agreement. You got to first, we went over this. First, it's got to be with Yeshua. So if he's not in agreement with it, it's never going to happen. I don't care if you get 100 people to help you out. If you convince 100 people to do what he didn't tell you to do, it still will fail. Right? And it may look good on the outside, like, go back to what we're talking about, like Kundalini. Right? You let the snake out the basket, though. You know, it's fake signs and wonders. You're walking in disobedience, and you're being carnal. You're basing it off of how many people are there, and how much money's in your pocket. Those are all carnal things. Go ahead.
Well, it makes me think about in Numbers, chapter 13 and 14, when he sent them out to scout the land, and he declared, God declared, Moses called Hoshea, Yehoshua. And it was Caleb and Joshua that brought back the report that they could take the land. But they came into agreement with fear. They came into agreement with power. And then they said, let us appoint a captain. Let us now we're going to choose a captain that's going to come into agreement with our mess.
That's exactly what happened.
To find someone that will come into agreement with the doubt, with the fear, false perception, because they saw themselves as they were as grasshoppers in their own eyes.
So, and check this out. Think about this. Hoshea is a leader in Israel, right? At the time, he's a captain, right? Comes back with a good report, and he said, he's already saying, because he's given the good report, he's already calling him Yehoshua. He's getting a name change from Hoshea to Yehoshua, because we're like, oh, you're going to be the one that takes the land. If you're going to be the one that takes the land, you got to be a prophetic symbol of the king. So you're going to have to change your name to Yehoshua, so that when someone sees it, they see Yeshua coming in with that double-edged sword to take the land. So you got to do the name change if you're going to fulfill this destiny. Because I need you to be more like him. Imagine him in that place, like a captain of Israel talking about, Moses, what do you mean? Why don't you call me out my name? Is that what he did? Well, I got to paint the picture the other way, because he didn't do that. He said, okay, and submitted to the process, just like Yohanan the Immerser gets a word from a man to go into the wilderness and prepare the way for the king. He submitted to that, and he's out there eating locusts and honey and some camel's hair. And he was told to do it. I mean, be thankful that he's not telling you, hey, prophet, go out on the side of the road in the entrance into Israel, take off all your clothes and lay there and build a city over here and lay there on one side for a year and defecate right off. I want to be a prophet. You sure about that? No, I'm trying to paint a picture. Why me and Trina are married, right? I got to look past the one Trina. We all know what we're talking about. Right? I'm being silly. Just being silly. Right? I had a word for the vision for this place, but when me and Trina got married, she shared her vision. Now, I was more Hebrew than Trina. So Trina had a vision. It was called the Glory Impact Center. Totally different thing. More churchy. That's the only different thing. Right? So she actually had the name in English. Our visions fit like a glove. We didn't, part of the reason we got married in 5 weeks, and we talk about this, did Stephen really have an emotional love? No. I wasn't emotionally attached to Trina when we got married. But it was a word we had. And the visions fit like a glove, and we went into detail about those visions to know that we would match. And it has matched, and it has worked because the Father put us together. He designed us both, gave us the same vision so we could walk together, because two can't walk together unless they agree. And there are people out there can't figure out why their stuff's not working. There's no agreement. With Yeshua first. And even if Yeshua gives them a prophetic word to do something, they had. So, point A to Z, let's say the Aleph in the Tav, right? 1, 100, whatever, doesn't matter. When you get a prophetic word at the beginning of your walk, you're over here. Right? You're over here, but it gives you a vision for over here, right? He doesn't tell you the 100 changes you're going to have to go through to get there, though. And so people get this prophetic word and they're like, he said I was going to be a prophet. So now I'm a prophet. Okay, bro, I understand, but you got to go through all this first, bro. There's no, you want a business? That's great, but you got to, yeah, Rob would tell you, right? How many things you got to do to set up a business, bro? It's magically delicious, bro. I just show up and all the business will start to come in the door because y'all have blessed me. Y'all businesses, it take too long. I get it immediately. Yeah, right. So what is he telling you? What is he prophesied over you? Again, if there's no prophetic word, you can't get from someone, people can't see anything, you're in the wrong place to begin with. Right? You got to actually show up for the prophet. You got to meet where the prophet meets. Right? When the woman's son died, what did she do?
She got the prophet.
Right? Run to Yeshua, right? He's the prophet of everything, right? But what her husband's asking her, where you going? It's not new moon.
Right.
It's not Shabbat. Where are you going? It'll be well. It'll be well. It's an emergency situation. But even the husband's like, hey, this is not time to go see the prophet. What you doing? Right? There is an appointed time to get the prophetic word you need. There's an appointed place, normally, whatever vision or work that he's put you to be a part of. And how it fits together. So how does it fit together? Well, if you never have time with the prophet and the vision that they got, you'll never see that it fits together and you'll never come into alignment. So no matter how successful you are, there will be a line and you won't cross it ever. You will never grow beyond that line because you may be his. And so he might bless you over here and let you operate and do some things because he loves you and he cares about you and he wants you to be able to take care of your family. So if it's a business, right? He may want you to use you in the body. He may good even at a bad situation. So you may not be exactly where you're at, but that doesn't mean you won't minister to someone, right? That doesn't mean you can't be used by him wherever you're at. But there will be a line that you won't cross until you come into a place of submission and you come into body ministry, not your ministry. The ministry of Yeshua is different from your ministry. If that's the case, I should become Nicolaitan right now and just start telling people what to do. How would that go? No, it wouldn't go. Not up in here, because this has not been set up for that. It's been set up for the ministry of Jehovah. Yeshua is doing the work. He's given the vision for the house. Excuse me, sorry. Just getting myself delivered. All right. So, what prophetic word you got? What prophetic vision you're a part of? How's that working for you? I already know. Don't fool around. It's a question I like to ask people. When they be like, Stephen, it don't take all that. I ain't got to do all that. I'm like, how's that working for you? You ready to give up yet? You ready to surrender yet? I mean, if all you want to have is Shabbat, read the Torah portions. I have church. I don't know everyone like that in here. So I'll broaden it up. All you want to do is come and have church. This is not the place for you. If all you want to do is a Torah study, this is not the place for you. I can gladly appoint you to places that do both. I would gladly help you in the Messiah, get you to where you need to be so you can have just church or just Torah study. Right?
This is really getting down to it.
Can you tell I'm kind of to a boiling point, brother? It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. People want to, I think what did it is last night someone said a word and said that all we should do is read the Torah portion and hang out and kick it, play games.
No midrash.
No midrash,
discussion,
no teaching.
commentary.
I'm like, that's so stinking pathetic. I'm still pop-eyed mad about it. It's, and they're on a mainstream Hebrew roots thing, and they letting that stuff slide? Man, someone pull that man's card. This is ridiculous. He's faking it. It's false. He's preaching a lie. Sit around and just chop it up and talk and hang out. When did Yeshua do that? He ain't never done that. You gotta be kidding me. Yeshua did not just sit around and talk about Torah, although he talked about it a lot. He taught it. He was on assignment. Oh, we're here. Let's go to Capernaum now. He was on a mission for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He didn't have time to deal with a bunch of religious folk all the time. It was bad enough he had to deal with them all the time anyway. He didn't need any more of it. Trying to convince someone what to do. While they're trying to convince him what to do, he's showing them what to do. How many times Israel get in trouble for not going to the nations and being the priest for the nations? You know what happens when you don't go to the priest for the nations? You sit around and debate midrash and talk about Torah till you're blue in the face and you can't even come into agreement with that. Because you're too busy picking each other apart instead of doing the work he told you to do. It is a shame in the kingdom. It is pathetic. And I'm going to call it what it is. It's fake. It's religious. It has nothing to do with the spirit of the Most High God. Now, you can be in that state for a while to learn because it is a great place to learn some stuff. But at some point, get your butt out the stinking nest and get to work. He will kick you out the nest if you don't like it. You'll be like, I was over there. If this is where you're at, you've been over here, and then it turned into a mess. Then I went over here and turned into a mess. Well, Jonah, get out the stinking boat. You're the problem. You're the one causing the mess. You're the only common denominator in all those. Get to work. Stop running from your calling, your purpose, and your destiny that he told you, and the prophetic word has been spoken over you. Do it. What has he told you to do? You have to do it. I'm going to share a story about my friend. My friend, Twan. That's not his full name. I'm going to share it anyways. Twan was called to be a pastor. Twan refused to become a pastor. Twan's daughter got raped on her couch in her house at the age of 12. Twan still refused to become a pastor. His oldest son died, robbing someone. Twan still refused to become a pastor. Then the car tipped over and killed all but almost 2 babies. You have a choice, but it ain't no choice. I mean, if you're making logical choices, there ain't no choice. I mean, you're allowed to choose whatever you want. Death, life. Today I put before you blessings and cursing. You know, you don't want to do Torah? Get on some ships, go over to America. Oh, let me stop. That'll get me in trouble nowadays, you know. Ben Shamir might get mad at me or something. But it's true, at least partially, right? At what point do we accept our calling and just go with the punches? Now look, I'm going to share an example. I got called into ministry, and the word that was spoken over me when I got called into ministry was that of Elijah the prophet being provided by the widow woman at Zarephath. That was the word I got the day I got called. Now, then I found out the widow woman was going to be my mother. And it was confirmed when I walked in the door. I hit the garage door that hadn't worked in 3 months, and it started working. And my sister came running out like, "What'd you do?" And you know, brothers and sisters, like, I hit the button. When I cleaned the bathroom upstairs, the pipes quit leaking. All I did was clean it. Hear me out. You know what kind of hell I've gone through because I fulfilled that word? Yeah, man, people, you think I didn't know that when I found out that I'm a grown man with children. You think I want to go live with my mother? Can I keep it real? I wasn't anxious about that. I was paying my own bills, taking care of my own children, and I was perfectly fine where I was at. But then I get this word. That word messed me up. Still messing me up. Right? You think no one's ever said, Stephen ain't no real preacher. He got his mama with the widow's there. That's the word I got. What am I supposed to do? Y'all, can you give me another word? I don't like this word. That's what some people do. There's going to be people that don't like it. And they're going to analyze it. They're going to chop it up. And they're all religious, whatever thing they did. You know who's normally chopping it up? The people that don't have a prophetic word and aren't doing what they're called because they don't understand it. Because they don't hear his voice. And what they say about those that don't hear his voice? They're not his. So you got some Kundalini, fake spirit-led people acting like they know something when they're critiquing you, and the devil's just using them to shut you down and keep you from the work. Shoot, sometimes it's not even Kundalini. Sometimes it's just straight flesh. I've been there. Did I get a witness for someone besides me? I'm telling on myself, my flesh don't want to do it. I just want to go over here and kick it. That's too much work for me. I've been there more than once. I mean, I say that in general in life. I've had a couple moments, but you know, there's the day-to-day operations, but sometimes I don't feel like doing it either. What's he told you to do? If you don't, you all right? Okay. If you don't know what, you should be trying to get a prophetic word. And that doesn't mean go around chasing everyone with a prophet Kundalini. The prophet, again, is the prophet of the house. That's right. I'm going to be clear and direct. I don't talk like this normally, but I'm going to talk like this today, all right? If you don't have a prophetic word over your life and you don't harass me, you ain't never getting one because I ain't going to share my goods. Because I don't like casting pearls before swine. That's right. If you don't chase me down and you don't have a prophetic word, I just called you swine. Can I make it any more clear? Why am I not in the internet like half the Hebrew roots sharing all my goods and all my revelation and all this other stuff? Because I don't cast my pearls before swine. There's no accountability in that relationship. Yeshua never did that junk. Oh, there is a benefit for doing it. You know what the benefit is? Money in my pockets. That's what it's about. Oh, the Lord has prospered me in this Hebrew roots thing. Why? So you're disobedient and you're casting, you got swine going on. They don't even know Yeshua. The two can't walk together. You don't even know them. You're supposed to know who you labor with. Now you laboring in vain with someone you don't even know. What kind of nonsense is that? It's fake. It's all it is. It's church all dressed up in Hebraic roots. You know what? So they're in Hebraic roots now. With the Hebraic roots cover, but at the root, there's still Nicolaitans because ain't no one talking on their stuff but them. I'm in here begging people to stand up and talk. Not today, obviously. But the goal of today is to get someone to stand up and walk in their stuff. I mean, look, Weaver, I haven't known you long. I'm going to use that example. If Chris, God forbid, Chris gets kicked out of the church, you know the first thing would happen? Oh, you need a key so you can have it over here? That's the first, I barely even know him. But that's the way we set up around here. We're trying to empower people to accomplish the vision that's been prophetically spoken over them in the body. We're here to help because the greatest is supposed to be in the kingdom is supposed to be the servant. But all these even great Hebrew teachers, oh, what are you gonna do for me if you come around here? Oh my God, I want to throw up. You still churched out. We got pimps in the pulpit. Ain't no more about pulpits. It's pimps in the chair around the table. Just look, it's ridiculous. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of holding my tongue about it. Because it is some nonsense. I literally want to bomb it half the time. And that's it. I just want to throw up. It's lukewarmness. It's carnal. Right now, we need a video editing person. So I'm going to, come on now. Why? Why? This the question is why? What's he telling you to do? What's he telling you to do? Two can't walk together unless they agree. You're supposed to know who you labor with. Who are you laboring with? Are you even doing labor? Are you laboring? Now I'm gonna brag on some people. I know you guys aren't used to being bragged on, so please have mercy on me and let me have just a little bit of liberty, okay? I've been bragging on my wife this week. Right? Matter of fact, I told y'all, Rob, you're here. You can actually listen to it about how we've been laboring for years to press into a certain place. And this week we crossed over. Right? See? Look, he'll tell you that I was telling. Y'all making jokes occasionally because, maybe I joke too much. I'll go there. Right? But we can make jokes and make light because we know where we're really at with each other. Right? I was bragging on Matthew to my wife, actually, about the fact that Matthew does work. I can't, you guys don't know, man, how many times I've had to do multiple things myself. Some of you guys have witnessed it. I'm running around chicken with my head cut off because I can't get no help. Matthew has been a help. He has. And I appreciate it, brother. I really do. So, like, it almost made me cry. Just let it fall. No, I'm just like. So what's he telling you to do? What's he telling you? Why are you running from it? The other side of not doing it is death. Literally. In some form, it's death. The wages of sin is death. Anything not of faith is sin. He's telling you to do something. You're not doing it. You're sinning. I don't care how holy you think you live in. I don't care how much Torah you keep. The main Torah you're breaking. That is the Torah straight from the king's mouth. He's telling you to do something. What kind of prophetic word have you been given? The prophetic word is, thou must submit and bow down to me and make me your Elohim. You run, don't you, Yahweh? Facts. My brother did run. Bless you, God. I couldn't help it. I just got an unction. I just want to say. All right. So what is he telling you to do? I'm not talking crazy stuff. I'm talking about real stuff. I'm not talking about Kundalini, fake prophecy, right? Acting like it's having a form of godliness, but not denying the real power thereof. I'm talking about what he's actually spoken to you with. He's put on your heart to do. Now, I can hear excuses. I can hear about money. I can hear about all this other stuff. But if you know me well enough, the last thing you better ever tell me is you can't afford it. Because I ain't ever been able to afford nothing I could do. To be honest, before I went into ministry, I could have afforded it. That's the truth. I was in college. My bank account was about, the settlement was about $56K at one time. Good old Lutheran boy, never got in trouble with the law. I became a preacher, got locked up, lost all my money. Anyone that would follow me, no wonder they were like, oh, no, don't follow Yeshua. You might end up like Stephen. I don't care. What's he told you to do? And if you don't know, be like Yohanan, listen to the prophet or whoever's you're submitted to, and just go do it. There's supposed to be a divine go in us. Go forth in all the nations and make Talmudim. Right, that's a commandment, is it not?
Read that.
Yeah, no. Go ahead, read it.
It's Yeshua speaking. Matthew, chapter 28. verse 18. And Yeshua came and spoke unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, immersing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Ruach HaKodesh, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen.
I mean, so what I'm trying to, the reason why I was going there is this. If you don't go to do that, and that go right there written is not good enough, he may not tell you why and where and how after. He's still waiting you for to listen to what the word actually told you to do from the beginning with. And look, I'm living proof. I was bound in pornography and all kinds of crazy stuff, and I got a word to go into full-time ministry. I could have looked at my issues and said that's a good reason not to go into ministry. And it's not that most people would say, you're right, you should get delivered first, bro. You know when I got delivered? When I went. The reason I was bound is because I wouldn't go. And when I went, I got delivered instantly. It broke off me. It broke off of me in that moment because I stepped into my destiny and my purpose. Did I know everything I was going to do? No. You guys hear me? I can write out prophetically what I'm supposed to do, this. I can do all that stuff now. But then, oh, Rob's seen the video footage. I was as green as I was so green. I was out there in the street with a bunch of street preachers like this. Which way to go? What are you doing? I was lost, but I was there. Learning. I went. I listened, heard the go, and went. He did the rest. You gotta go. Whatever field he's told you to go into, you got to go do it. You gotta start somewhere. He loves you. He's going to correct you. You're not going to step into it perfectly. That's never going to happen. He's not going to let it happen like that. Because if you could do that, you wouldn't need him. He needs to, he wants you to start walking spiritually in your calling just like you did as a child, you know, and fall into daddy's arms. What he wants. He wants to see you walk on water spiritually, at least, right? You got to dive in. What are you called to do? Just start doing it. Do something. We can get into you're doing too much or you shouldn't do this, but you should do that. We can do that later. But do something. Do the work of the ministry. Stand for something. Hanukkah's coming. The Maccabees just one day say, I ain't bound to that crap. And that was the start of it. They didn't have a plan. There wasn't no great, okay, if we're going to attack these guys and get rid of the Hellenism that's killing us, we're going to do this. They ain't do none of that junk. Why do we think we got to do that? What are you called to do? It says to perfect your gift where? Yeah. In the field, because you went. Try to take you, he take you into the energy field. You think you're gonna know everything about energy before you get in there? No. Trying to build a campground. You think we ain't gonna make mistakes? I went in there with that attitude. We would have quit a long time ago. What's he telling you to do? I mean, because if you're not, let me explain this. You can have on the outside, most from a religious standpoint, you can have a lot of good works that people look highly upon you, and you may enter into the kingdom. I'm not saying that's all. I'm not saying you're gonna burn. I'm not saying that. Listen, but when you stand before the king and all his talents and gifts that he put in you, and you didn't go when he told you to go, that ain't gonna be good for you. It's not gonna be pleasant. It will not be pleasant. I'm using Matthew because I told you already he's been doing stuff, so I can go there. If y'all put that much Torah and that much knowledge about Torah into Matthew and he never led a Bible study, I might throw a shofar at it. I mean, and that's me. Like, what is wrong with you? Leave! Right? He did not give him all that word so he could sit in back and not say nothing. Even though he's doing that today, crazy job. Next week, by the way, Matthew will be leading the midrash. I'm gonna bring that up again. So, right? It's a appointed time for everything. But what is he telling you to do? What's the word over your life? And if you don't know, harass the mess out of me until I just have to get on my face. All right? And there are other options. I mean, if Fawn wants to know what she's called to do and she harasses Rob, that would be great. Because that's her husband, right? If you harass Yara about direction, just as examples, right? Just as examples. And look, sometimes people don't have word for you, so you got to go somewhere else. That's fine. You said it. Elisha got a double portion of Elijah. You think he got that because he showed up one day and said, Elijah, I'm your double portion, just give it to me. You think that's what happened? I don't know. He was calling him Lord, so I know that's not what happened. You don't call, that's not what happened. He was submitted through a process that has to be done. And I'm going to tell you right now, around here, if you ask me what your process is going to be, I'm going to laugh at you. And I'm going to be like, I don't know. How am I supposed to know? My name is not Yeshua. We're going to see what Yeshua says do. And shouldn't you want that more? Instead of some ritualistic, everything laid out and like, what is this dude? Thinks he's going out and knows the next 10 years of my life. Please. Let's walk this thing out together. Fit like a glove, right? You feel called to be here for a reason. Don't fight it. Embrace it. Run with it. Right? You might be surprised. It might end up being like Yeshua, right? He submitted to Yohanan for 30 seconds. Like, he bent down, he got mikvah, and go into the wilderness. Come on. The quickest submission in history. But yet, somehow we think we don't have to go through that process. Yeshua went through it. Our King went through it for righteousness' sake, right? Go through the process. And look, I say that, so I'm gonna say this. And if Stephen takes advantage of that, you think y'all won't deal with me after this? Come on. How many people have seen people that say it right and they do all this other stuff and they treat you different? And how does that work out for them? I know, because it's been done to me, and I've seen how it worked out for them. And it's constantly in my head, like, so have some mercy. I'm not perfect, right? So if I tell Rob, hey, go here and do this, and then Rob, I come back and I said, Rob, why'd you do that? And he'd be like, Stephen, you told me. I was like, oh, my bad. I forget sometimes. I'm human, right? But if he reminds me, I'll be like, oh, you're right. I did say that. And that's how it should be. Because we're all serving him. Now, it's not about me. Right? So what's he telling you to do? What's the prophetic word you've gotten over your life? If you don't, you better go get one. Two can't walk together unless they agree. Right? Sometimes people get a prophetic word. Look. Okay. Go there. You think Trina was the first one to get the word about being my wife? Uh-oh, we're going to get real right now. She wasn't. You really want to know how many got that word beforehand? You know how many women said they heard that word, but then said no, and it had nothing to do with me? It had to do with their own relationship with y'all. There's always a heel grabber in the room, guys. That's right. There's always an Esther to replace the Vashti. There's always someone else. If Yah's called you to do something, you don't do it. Don't get mad at the person when they're doing it and they're standing right next to you. Look, he doesn't need you. He wants you. There's a difference. He's got plenty of people. He could raise up some stones to do something if he wanted, right? He can remove the king of Israel. He can remove you, right? It's because you king and priest, people start getting, I got my staff over here, so I got a party and I got all of this stuff. What's he called you to do and what's stopping you from doing it? You better identify that stuff if you want to be successful in his kingdom. I'm not talking about being successful in my eyes, even your eyes. If you're gonna stand before him someday, he's gonna be accountable. You think he's gonna be like, I gave you $5 the other day, and you bought a candy bar with one, and you bought 4 chicken sandwiches, right? So, good job. I mean, he's talking about the seed that he's giving you, right? The word he's spoken over you, is that word being cast out because you said yes to the word when you got the prophetic word, but then it, like Stone, you said yes, but then it faded away real quick, or is it I want to do this thing, but all these things I need to do in life and all the cares and pleasures in life, I gotta have my Netflix time, my YouTube time, I gotta have my game time, and all this. Next thing you know, I had no time for the word that he sent me. I've been there too. There's a time I couldn't do any video games, none. He wouldn't let me. I didn't have time. He was telling me too much to do. Now he's got to tell me, Stephen, you need to sit your behind down, go play a video game. That's what happens to me now, because he's like, I'm getting older, I don't move as fast, and I'll hurt myself, which I have, as most of you guys know. All right? He'll tell me to go sit down. I told Trina I was getting over being sick this week, and I literally sat on the couch playing video games all day long one day. And that's the only thing that kept me from doing something stupid. I'm just being honest, he used it. Oh, because I don't like sitting on the couch. I hate it. I hate it. But so the video game occupied myself, so I would be. But I said that I'm playing a video game, but half my mind, I'm not playing the game. In my head, I'm praying, oh Lord. I'm already in prayer mode while I'm playing, because it require effort like this. No effort whatsoever. They were one day. Look, what's he telling you to do? This is not a joke. How does it fit in with the vision of the house? If it doesn't fit in with the vision of the house, you better find out where it does fit in. Be asking him, where does this work? Yeah, good luck with that, because I'm pretty flexible around here. I know most places. Have fun. I hope it works out for you.
He recently told me that want to be like Sarah. He followed Abraham into the unknown. There's another level of trust. Trust in him, first and foremost, and to trust Yeshua in you.
Now you guys know how we got to that new spot this week. Right? She received the word, there was a change, and all of a sudden our house entered into something we ain't never been in. And if you think I'm not capable of that in this house, you shouldn't be here. I'm just being honest. If you think, that's all cool, Steve, but you a little, go somewhere else. I don't care. You're not going to offend me. I'm actually going to, for real, this is where you're supposed to be. Look, I had a pastor. He was dabbling with the Hebraic, right? I was all the way in, but that's who he had me. And then he made a switch and went the other way. And I told him, hey bro, time for me to go. I can't roll with you here. We don't agree. You breaking out, you done showed up with some pagan Catholic garbs. Now I ain't going like that. I mean, it's bad. I feel bad. It's hard enough for me to be up in here with a pastor that's not really that Hebraic. But mutual things, we had mutual agreements that we could walk through. I found some level of agreement. That we've been close for years. So there's all kinds of stuff. But when they made those changes, I'm out. I can't agree to that. You're about to do me damage. I'm up out of here. I tried. Love y'all. What's he telling you to do? I'm not going nowhere. Hey, I knew we weren't going to get off of this. We got through, at least we made it through a whole chapter in reading, which Matthew will tell you, that's a success. Sometimes we go through 1 or 2 verses and we don't get nowhere else, but then we shrunk it to like 4 or 5 verses and then down to 2 verses and we kind of hammer it in. What's stopping you from getting into your calling, your destiny, and purpose? Yah is not a respecter of persons. Stephen is not up here doing what he's called to do because Stephen is better. That is a joke. To be honest, 9 times out of 10, when I'm somewhere, the room has more skill set than me. And that's the truth. It is, I know, look, I can't count how many times I'm in the room, someone can chop up the Torah. I'm like, I can't count. Better teaching skills. But I don't do it for all that. I just want to be who he told me to be, and I want to be in his field. That's all I want. I figured all the dirt my family done did, and the dirt I done did, specifically, I ain't put it all on my family, right? That I'm just happy to be here. We talk about the work that he's doing in this place in Kavod. I'm just happy to be a part of it. I really am. It's that simple to me. I just want to be part. And if this is where he has me today up here and leading, you know, that's fine. That's even better. But if I wasn't, to be honest, if I was sitting in the back just chilling, like I probably will be next week when Matthew's leading, I'm fine with it. To be honest, when I hooked up with Sean and Team Jesus, you can ask Sean what I did. Everyone was fighting for that mic. I went back and said, "You need help somewhere?" He said, "Well, they all want to be up here." So I need someone to sell t-shirts. I said, "Okay." I went back in and sold t-shirts, didn't open my mouth. I didn't open my mouth. Guess who became the pastor? The t-shirt guy in back. I'm just saying, that's what y'all does. All right? I tried to go hide at World Harvest. I did that for 2 years, a long time ago. All right? And I went to sell tents in the back because I didn't want to be, you know, I was a minister and I didn't want to be called out. I was running for my calling. So camp meeting, I was pressing in, doing all kinds of stuff. I was just serving faithfully though, with the you know, selling tapes and stuff for them and all that other stuff. And so I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to jack up anyone else's field though. So we're back there and we're selling tapes. And I mean, you know, I don't agree with anything that man teaches, right? But I'm back there helping. And I'm with Alvin. We were back there together, right? Just hanging out. I thought I get to hang out with my friend today. This is cool. And we went to sell tapes and I said, "Hold on, we're about to start. Let's at least pray." He's like, "They're tapes." I was like, "Oh, we're gonna pray." And then I just went off. Because it's prayer. I'm not playing around with God like that. You know, I might be running from my calling, but I'm not gonna play around with the king. And we had the oldest tapes in the entire thing, and we sold out. Which the pastors come by and goes, "What? The mess is going on over here." He knows they're the oldest things in the book. Right? He knows they're not supposed to sell, but they're gone. So he came up to Alvin because he knew Alvin, he didn't know me. So what happened? And here's how the Lord kept me from being hidden. Alvin didn't say anything about me. He said, "Oh, we just decided to pray and prayed and it started selling all of it." He said, "Woo." So he came and I think he interviewed Alvin and everything else. And you know, Alvin knew I was kind of hidden. So he didn't force me into the limelight or anything like that. But so after all that, I started praying, like I felt a call to come out of where I was at. And sure enough, camp meeting. I'm selling tapes with Alvin the same week. They asked us we're gonna have prayer. I know we haven't had that every year. We're gonna have prayer beforehand. Right? We get up, the leader said right next to me, or he said here, and I was right next to him. He said, "I'm gonna start in with you, okay?" He didn't even know who I was. I'm like, "Oh, I'm done. I told you I was raised by Ghana and African prayer warriors. I don't play with no prayer. That is not a joke." And I knew this was my day. I'm done after today. I know there's no way I'm gonna hide no more. Sure enough, everyone's praying. It sounded like I was at the Lutheran church the whole prayer. At World Harvest. I would have never thought, I couldn't believe I was in shock. He started praying, he could pray. And everyone started praying, I'm like, oh my God. By the time it got to me, I was mad. What do people learn how to pray? "Oh, Mother, may you please do something, Lord? Oh, please." I was like, oh my God. I was almost gonna throw up. I just went off. And then he dismissed everyone and said, "Not you. What you doing praying like that and you up in here selling tapes?" Busted. Within a month, I was out of there. I got released in the ministry. And I left and went with Sean. I mean, you guys, most people don't even know that story. Within 1 month, I was gone in full-time ministry. I got found out. Even in a place I didn't agree with, still don't agree with. Doesn't mean the Spirit of God wasn't moving in that place at all. You better recognize. I could have been like, "Oh, I see the Spirit moving. That's Kundalini. I can't." No. I was telling me. I could not ignore what the Spirit of the Most High was doing with me. You can blame everyone else. You can talk about everyone else, but it comes down to this. What's the prophetic word you got from him? How does it fit in with the vision? And why ain't you doing it? We can dress it up. We can try to intellectualize it. You have to do something. And when you start doing, let me use your rock. When you started your business, did you understand everything about the business when you walked through the door? He started showing you as you walked, right? Well, it's the same thing prophetically. He tells you to do something. He will teach you as you walk. You walk it out. I know people that are still with, they've been waiting 20 years for this stuff to come to pass. Sit right in the pew in some church somewhere, they ain't supposed to be there. Ain't supposed to be there. First of all, it's past 7 years. Why you still there? Right? I mean, unless he's called you there for beyond 7 years, but that does happen.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Thank you.
If I had not caught 2 Coda buses after working all day to come to your Bible study, do you think that you and I would, that
You think we would? No, we would not be
Love
married.
always finds a way.
If Trina would not have done that kind of work, because I had another word, and I was looking for that word to be fulfilled. And the word was, go to the fountain, the one that waters the camels. You know how much water camels drink, guys?
10 gallon,
15 gallons or so.
You know what kind of work that woman was doing for that dude? I needed a woman that was going to work and have faith. Because that was quick too, right? Be like, these are for my masters. I'm looking for the wife. She said, oh, I'll go. Right? Then we go say bye to my family, basically. I mean, that's not how it happened. Yeah, kind of quick version, right? That's Stephen's 5-minute version of scripture. I'm just making sure you understand that, right? That's the word I got. So I needed someone that was going to work and catching 2 buses after work to come to Bible study. Look, I've got the bus before. That's some work. Matthew, how long does it take to get you across town on a bus?
Less than 2 hours. Barely.
How long did it take you? You remember?
oh, it's probably an hour.
Oh, see, y'all gave you favor.
It's longer for me to get to.
I was thinking an hour and a half.
I'm just saying, if she would not have done that and wouldn't have pressed, we would not have gotten married. I can say that without blinking. She knows that. So why are you stopping? What's stopping you? Is it too much work? Because it's the work of the ministry. Right? So if the work of the ministry is too much for you, you can go back to the dark side. For him, make it easy for you. All you got to do is worship him.
I can think of several times that the Lord has told me to do something, of which I didn't want to do. And I had no idea how to do it. I had no idea where to start, had no idea what to do with it. But I ended up, you have to take those steps. You start researching on how to do it. You have to take the steps. And even though it may be confusing at first, you have to make the steps. You can't just sit there and think, I have no idea what to do. I have no idea what to do. You just have to do it.
I'm glad you went there. I just got a revelation to a story. I'm going to share this because I was at War Harvest for a couple of years, partially on TV all the time, right? Major TV ministry, right? Well, most people don't know is how he started. Parsley used to be on public TV, the crappy kind you can barely see. And he used to have to, the station was so bad, he used to have to stand there and preach with a fork with aluminum foil on his head, above his head like this, while he was preaching. The Lord said, couldn't let go because if he drops his hand, he's going to lose the signal. No one wants to do that. That's the issue. They don't want to be made a fool out of. I mean, do you understand how crazy that looks? What's he told you to do? You trying to figure out what it looks like. You know what that is? It's called the pride of life. I won't get out there with a fork with some tinfoil above my head and scream preaching because I care what people are gonna think about me. Or you know what that means? You ain't fit. That's what that means. You are not fit for the kingdom. Which goes back to what I said at the beginning. That makes you swine. Anyone here want to be swine? There is a different kingdom. We have transitioned kingdoms. The rules are different. We have to step into our destiny and our purpose. This is not an option. Yeshua, you're my Lord, my King. Your Lord will tell you what to do. So if you're calling him your Lord, but you ain't doing this, you lying. You are literally lying and are the hypocrites of the century. You know what? And if that's where you're at right now, it's easy to get out of it. You just go, I'm sorry, let me go do it. Right? Because even look, the wicked servants, like, wrong way. You have two different people, right? You have people that say, yes, Lord, and then don't go do it. And then people that say, no, I don't want to do that. And then they end up doing it anyways because it's their king. So we all either say yes or no. And if you've been saying no, good. You're not the yes person that it's just time for you to turn over and say yes now, right? And submit to it. But if you're sitting around saying yes all the time, I'll do it, but you ain't doing it, you're not his. Not yet. That's the nice thing about the kingdom. You become his today. Right? The kingdom is upon you now. Right now. He's a right now Elohim. Right? Now I'm starting to sound churchy. Some things were right. He's giving you a go. What's he giving you a go to? What's he telling you to go do? And if no one comes to help you, Scripture says to write the vision and make it plain, not for you, for the people that can follow along. If you haven't written down the vision yet, ain't no one coming to help you. It's the process. You get the word, you write it out, and sometimes you need help to write it out, right? Get direction, get counsel. I'm gonna say something crazy. Trina even in the room, I'm about to tell them. I said this to a couple of the guys. We have considered starting a Sunday congregation. Don't get worried. I ain't going back. For evangelism purposes. The church is matriarchal. I'll put Trina in charge. I figure that's appropriate. Right? But she's got to have a name. All that stuff would have to be in place. She don't have that kind of direction yet. She'll get direction when she gets it. It could be next year, the year after. Ain't no one making anyone do nothing around here, but you're in a place that if you actually get a prophetic word and get some direction, you actually have real help you do it. Not the fake help. Okay, I'll go there. So, like for instance, I know someone that builds websites and helps people with video editing and all this other stuff. They said they're going to help me. Right? So then I go over there and I'm going to. Before you run. Before you run. You're waiting on me with that one. that one you're waiting on me. We've already discussed that. You're waiting on me. And I'm waiting on y'all's provision. When y'all gives me provision, you'll have what we need and then we'll be going. That'll come. Right? But then the moment I don't do what they say, they don't want to do the video work. Well, that means they're Nicolaitans. You told me that y'all even showed you that you're supposed to do it. And now you like playing games and then I can't even get the editing verses. I can't even get access to my own videos because you holding them hostage because you want to be my Elohim. Ain't you the devil in Hebrew garb? Yeah, I went there. Like, yeah, some of y'all like, oh, Stephen's being a little direct today. Yes, I am. I'm tired of stuff. It's ridiculous. And to be honest, there's some people in here which they're not, I would call them out. I'm just tired of it. At some point, you either a duck, you a goat, you a sheep, you one of the two. Let's just sheep and goat. And I want everyone to be a sheep, so I'm gonna try to help you get there. And if you a goat, I'm just gonna start calling people, you a goat. That's what the problem is. Oh, you can't hear nothing, you a goat. you're allowed to transition. I mean, I had the same talk with my king. I said, Father, I'm a goy. I didn't say it like that. I said Gentile. I'm stuck in the outer court, but I don't want to get in the inner court. I do all this prayer. I pray all night long, and I can't seem to get any closer, and I know it. You know what he told me? You're allowed to switch. You know that, right? I said, what? You're allowed to switch. My rabbi just told me I'm allowed to switch. Oh, it's on. And then I went and put the 10 Commandments on the doorpost of my thing, you know, like the Shema. I didn't know what Shema was, so I just put the 10 Commandments, wrote them on the door. My mom came into my bedroom and was like, I'm like, oh, I just wrote on her wall, so it's probably not there. But she didn't care because she saw what it was. She was like, oh, someone's getting something up in here. They're getting writing the word on the wall. There's been a change. Right? And I can't encourage you guys enough. Step into your calling and your purpose. If you don't know, you should be pressing like, I'll get up to find out what it is. Right. We saw a woman this week that was talking about she's called and all she's doing is talmuding of her children. That's all she's doing. She's got 7 of them. She got home all day long. She ain't got time for nothing else. She just trained up her children. I'm not trying to dress it up like it has to be some like, you know, grand, glorious thing. That's not what I'm saying. Just do what she tells you to do.
Well, she brought it home for me because, you know, we're supposed to be making disciples. What better place to make disciples than with your children at home? And she painted the picture of how, you know, the Talmudim, you know, how they want to know what their rabbi, you know, Yeshua is our rabbi. They want to copy everything that he does.
Mhm.
How did he eat his bread? Did he eat with his right hand, with his left hand? How did he tie his shoe? How does he sleep? Does he sleep on his back? Does he sleep on his side? Even down to how does he sneeze? They want to copy everything that their rabbi is doing, and children copy. Children watch. They pay attention to what their mother or their father are doing. And it was such a beautiful picture that she painted. And so many times women seem to think that, like, being a mother is that's one of the most miraculous, most amazing jobs ever. And it's such an opportunity to teach them Torah from the time they're born until they leave the home, or, you know. We can make disciples,
I mean,
you know. I don't know, I'll just really bust that out.
I was gonna say, because there's one other thing, right? Because I'm dealing with carnality a little bit on this too, because carnality gets in the way so much. And Hebrew, this is where we're supposed to be in the kingdom. This is supposed to be our main thing. Yes, flowing in the gifts of the Spirit are important. Knowing Torah is important. Both are important, right? But he can clean all that stuff up and make it better. If you don't have this, you ain't have nothing. I'm trying to, this is the quintessential. You have to get in and start doing what he tells you to do. And yes, part of that is to do Torah. Part of that is to walk in the Spirit, right? To walk out his gift. I mean, you're supposed to do both, right? So he's doing it because what happens a lot of times in the Hebraic is people want the wow factor. They're going to McDonald's. Except they're coming to the Hebrew on Shabbat. They're having on Shabbat. They're going to Shabbat service, but they're really just going to McDonald's in their spirit. All they're waiting, they sit around like, ooh, give me another Hebrew nugget, blow my mind. Oh, really? That's all it is to them. They're addicted to knowledge. But they still ain't doing this. They missed the boat. And that's why when they somewhere for a while and they get all the little wow factors, other than just go somewhere else and get some more wow factors. Like, now I got Bill Cloud next week. Then I'm going to Alyssa this week. And then I'm going to Rico this week. I'm getting all their wow factors out. Then you're confused. Well, you know why? Because they have different missions. They're preparing to deal with different things. So they're not going to do the same stuff. They're not. It's carnal. It's spiritual fast food. Let me go watch a 10-minute Bill Cloud video. Get my snack. You know,
Sometimes you don't even eat the rest of the week. Fasting is spiritual.
Probably not should be spiritual fasting.
Probably not fasting from the word, though. That's probably how I need to go there. Are you guys tracking what I'm saying? Am I being clear enough? I can't be any more clear. There's mud. Thank you, Ralph. Next time Paul gives a word up in here, I'm sure this will go to another level, but he knows where we're going. And they came out in the ranks in Joel 2, they came out in rank and file in Joel 2 too. They came out of Egypt, they came out in rank and file. Rank and file was it's not a position, it's a commissioning thing, right? You gotta understand who you are, what you're assigned to. That's what I have people that come to me and like, hey, you could do this, Bill does this person does this. I'm like, I don't care. My name ain't Bill. They told me I could, when they tried to get me to play football. In NFL, they were like, Reggie White did it. He was Hebrew. I'm like, is my name Reggie? Y'all didn't tell me to do that. I'm like, how do you know I'm not going to get in a plane crash when I disobey him? On the way down to camp. No, I don't play that.
Virtual.
Yeah. Kept running. Still running. Which one is it? What's he telling you to do? You just got to do it, guys. Just got to do it. You got to step into your calling, your destiny, and your purpose. If you step into your calling, your destiny, and purpose, your life will change drastically. Drastically. No matter where you're at. Look, and this has nothing to do with like the first time you do it. Even if you're there, it'll definitely change drastically. But me and my wife, even changes we made in the last week. Drastically, it's affecting our house. Drastically. I mean, look what we're doing today. Yeah, this is probably part of it. Trina was so happy and moved that people were praying for us this week, and it was very moving. But if you guys knew Trina's role in my life prophetically and what it symbolized in here, you'd pray for her a lot more. I was married to Vashti once before. She got removed. I got replaced with an Esther. I already told you the name of Trina's house is Glory Impact Center. As Trina goes, so goes the congregation. It's been that way for a while now that I've known. As she steps into something, normally in the community, the rest of the community follows right behind. So there's an influence there, and I'm not saying I understand all that altogether, okay? Why do you think I pour into her and I try to spend all the extra time with her because it seems to have more impact than anything I do up in here. But the good news is she just crossed over in something we've been trying to get into since we got married.
Sorry, it took so long now.
I mean, no pressure on her, but I'm just saying there's an impact. People that lead things, Robert leads his business, right? If he had employees, you don't have any employees. But if he had employees, the employees are only going to grow so much. It's going to be dependent on him. And that's going to be a lot to do with it. I mean, that's one of the reasons you pray for leadership is it does affect you, whether you believe it or not, right? Sometimes you don't see it till you leave. I know, I've been there, right? You left me like, oh my God, all that was going on. Because he keeps it hidden because you don't need to know all that. Because that's not where he has you focused on something else. Right. So rejoice. It's time to cross over into some stuff. It's time to launch into destiny, into purpose. It's the end of sowing season. This is the word we getting? What's the harvest look like? What's the harvest look like on this? Everyone operating in their calling, destiny, and purpose? I mean, you want to see something amazing? I mean, that's what manifestation of the sons of Elohim is really about. That's what it's about. Everyone's happening. That's why we don't do that stuff like that around here. It's set up differently. It's set up that everyone can. so everyone can enter into their stuff and manifest. That's how it's set up. That's the goal. That's not really, that's the goal. We're preparing Yeshua when he comes back for the greater exodus. This is gonna be like, I need all the ones that ain't doing that. Come on. You've been sitting in the pew for 20 years. Come on. You think that's what's happening? You gotta get into your stuff. He has designed something just for you. And no one but you will ever fully understand that. You may not even ever understand that. Because only he does. I'm definitely not gonna be the one that understands it completely. Something intimate, special, unique, set apart, just for you. I feel like I just. All right, praise God. Anyone got anything? I don't normally do the preaching around here, but it happens. It happens.
It's interesting, we both, I didn't know it was in Amos, but, I think you brought up on Thanksgiving. You are agreed that, you know.
I did.
Given us to agree. And I've been thinking about it, but maybe a few days before that too, I'm sure that's probably about the time you got it. And, I guess my thoughts on it have been just like, I'm sure this is a while ago, but like I had a friend who I thought was a pretty close friend, you know, and then things came up with him. It was just doubt. And I wasn't trying to push doubt about it, but like I went down and visited him, and it was Shabbat. He got really upset when I was doing Shabbat. And I wasn't trying to make him do it, you know. It was just really annoyed. You know, I was like, why? I can understand if you don't want to do Shabbat. You know, it's expensive in some ways. You know, take a day out to work and all this. But I was just surprised that he was so angry about it. You know? And so I think that's part of it too, is like as you get to know someone, you see where the agreement is, you know. For a believer, we're in agreement with some, you know, with any believer. And there really is a lot more than that. You know, the simple I believe in Yeshua is it's a start, but it's not enough to necessarily look together.
Yeah, there's a difference between actually going on the field like Barnabas and Paul, or staying there with Tikvah. Those are all things, they matter, man. When you get into it, like we could run into anyone in the street, they could be a believer, like my brother, what's up? And that'd be the end of our relationship. You know? But there's gotta be some intimacy.
It goes back to the covenant, right? You know, it's a covenant relationship. It's like it's a marriage.
Mhm.
If you and I in our home, if we are not in agreement, if it's constant strife, constant debate, constant disagreement on it, whatnot, and can't agree, nothing will get accomplished, and it will just only cause further and further distance between the two of us. And it will take an intervention for that to be mended and to come back together to agree. So we have to go back and remember the covenant that we made with Yah. And begin to walk that out again, return back to that. He is keeping his covenant, are we? He is not breaking his end of the bargain. He keeps his promise. He keeps his covenant always. Are we? So it's a time to really look at our lives, look at our walk, and are we in agreement with him and still in that covenant relationship, or are we breaking our promise to him?
Mm. Mm.
Faithful. He's so faithful.
And how long has he been nudging us, right? Like, I want you to do this. And he'll just keep nudging us. I want you to do this. And like a year later, I want you to do this. I'm like, I should really just get in. Why am I fighting this? And he'll just nudge us for sometimes years. try to get us to do something that we're called to do.
And it's all, it's a rehearsal, right? We keep the appointed times, we celebrate the feast, and we come to the Shabbat. It represents, and it's a time we're practicing for when we are reigning with our King. If we're gonna reign and rule with our Messiah, we're not making preparation for that time now, we won't be ready.
Won't be right.
Even before you get married, there's a time of preparation, and then there's a wedding rehearsal. It's a rehearsal. You practice. And where we fall and we make mistakes, it's his righteousness that keeps us. We're not righteous in and of ourselves. We're only made righteous through the blood of Messiah. And there's mercy, but we have to start. Practice and answer the call.
Amen.
Even my call.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Sometimes there's just so many things that you don't know which one to write on and what to do.
Grab one and go.
Start on one.
Go grab one and go. So look, sewing season, you guys have seen, especially you, I know you've seen my sewing list, right? It's actually worse than it has ever been this year. So I got multiple businesses and stuff I'm supposed to start during sewing season, right? And so I've had at least a conversation with people about those things. But there's only one I'm really working on right now. Only one. It's the main one. And the other one, if it doesn't start till next year, and that seed falls by the wayside, so be it. Every sowing season, I have stuff that doesn't manifest in the spring. Because it just wasn't supposed to yet. It's all right. But grab one and go. Grab one. And if all you do is manifest one every year, 5 years from now, you'll be like, oh my God, look at all this stuff. You just gotta grab one and go. You'll get better as you go, but grab one and just do something. I think the indecisiveness is actually can kill you more than if you don't want to mess up. Just grab one and go. He'll correct you. He'll. Even if you grab the wrong one, he'll show you. A year from now, you'll be like, yeah, I should have grabbed it. But then you'll grab that one. Right? It's like Sukkot, right? If we mess up Sukkot this year, we got next year. Right? As long as we're alive, we got next year. We do want to do it right, but stuff happens.
He's interceding for us though too, right? He loves us and he's interceding for us. He wants us to prosper. He wants us to succeed in the things that he has called us to do.
Yeah.
He's not waiting for us to make a mistake. He knows we're gonna make a mistake. There's mercy. Love.
It just came to my mind about this Sukkot and you talking about the low hanging fruit.
Mhm.
I just came to my mind.
Well, that tells you whatever's easiest, do that. He's not even making it hard on you. That means he's like, the easy one, go do that. You know what you're doing.
All right, are y'all ready for the blessing? I'm gonna go grab
Yes. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Susan, do you have any questions? I see you online. Yeah, I did. You want to pray with the children first? Why don't you start with the children? Here,
Yes.
start with the
I'm
children.
gonna do a little bit differently. This is for you girls.
We got something on there just for you girls. You too. And then under the fellowship one.
Home Alone.
Right, and if we could all, it's gonna come up on the screen, if we could all, I don't know if you know it or not, if you don't know it, well, if you do know, it, we can sing it together over, and declare this over the children in unity. There you go.
We're all praying for you. And you, and you.
And you, may He always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like David, and may you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's ways. And may God bless you and grant you long lives. May God make you good husbands and wives.
Just wise, just wise.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer. Amen.
Yes, bless you, bless you, bless you. Still in here. All right, now, one more blessing for everyone. May Jehovah bless you and keep you. May Jehovah make his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, lift up his countenance upon you, and give you his shalom in our Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. Yivarekcha Yehovah ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Yehovah panav yilcha v'yifnecha. Yisa Yehovah panav yilcha v'yisem lecha. Shalom. Amen. And that goes to you too, Susan.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom. We do have a prayer list up here too. I just want to remind everybody, if you have anything special that you'd like us to be praying
Shavua Tov,
for,
Susan.
please put it on our prayer list.